What's up guys, Ruppy here, welcoming you to a new season of the International Battling League. Also, I'm going to say, it feels good having everything back in place. I'm going to apologize in advance if things sound a little different. I haven't exactly tested this beforehand to see exactly how everything's going to sound quite yet, but this is not only the first video I'm getting a chance to record with my PC back up and running. Thank God for that. I have missed this thing so much. But it is also the first video I'm recording on my completely brand new setup. And when I say new setup, I don't mean I've got any new equipment or anything. More just I've kind of moved things around in my room while my PC was getting repaired. I have a new desk. The location I'm in my room now, it does free up a lot more space for me to move around in compared to what I had going on before. The downside is I do think the section I'm in does have a little more reverb to it, so we'll kind of play around with that, see how that works out. Maybe it makes my voice sound a little more epic, who knows. Anyway, we are beginning a new season of the IBL. You guys have probably seen my draft analysis video by now. If you have not, there will be a card in the upper right-hand corner of the video for you to go check out. And as per usual, you see my team kind of just chilling in our locker room, getting ready for the battle ahead. For week 1, to kick off our new IBL season, last time we were able to get to the semifinals before Howler rejected us. I will be paying him back for that, I promise you guys that. And as well as the BBR mess from a few weeks back as of when this video is going up. But every journey has to start somewhere. And our journey this time is going to begin with a potential chance at a different kind of payback. For week 1, we are going to be playing the Vegas Golden Corviknights, coached by Brendan, aka Dark Devil 26, aka the commissioner of the IBL. If you recall from last season, I ended up crossing paths with Brendan in week 3, and he handed me my first loss of the season in rather destructive fashion, honestly. I had a game plan, I ended up ditching it because, well, everything just completely fell apart, and I ended up not exactly coming out of that battle in the best state of mind. Let's try not to have that happen again this time, shall we? Preferably we get a win this time. So I'm going to go ahead and flip on over to the chalkboard, as I normally do for these team builders. His team will be appearing off to the right. Brendan's roster for this season consists of the following: Kuma'o, Obstagoon, Rotom Wash, Skarmory, Alchemy, Lycanroc Midday, Centiskorch, Claydol, Lapras, Leafeon, and his G-Max, Gengar. Brendan's got a bit of an interesting team to throw at me this time around. G-Max Gengar is obviously a problem. Kuma'o and Obstagoon can be kind of pains. I recall one of my LAT games last season where these two were on the same roster. Brendan has a lot of interesting stuff going for him. He's got a lot of bulk. He's got quite a bit going on in the hazard department, but I think I have a game plan for this. So let's take a look at my roster and see exactly how I plan to deal with this. And we are going to start off, where else, with my old friend Hesukia. G-Max had his back. For anyone who's a little curious on nicknames, Empathy is the nickname for my non-G-Max hat that I'm running on my BBR roster. Hesukia is what I call my G-Max ones, because Hesukia, I forget what off the top of my head what it is. It'll probably appear in the video to kind of help me remember for later. But it is the name of a goddess of silence. So, yeah, definitely fitting for when this thing maxes. And as per usual, Hat does Hat things, which means Hat basically smashes whatever is put in front of it, because that's basically what Hat does whenever it's in my hands. I'm running an Assault Vest for week 1, primarily because of G-Max Gengar. This allows me, preferably if I've got Gengar weakened beforehand, it allows me to be able to eat any hit from that thing, no matter what, even if it's got at least a +1 boost from throwing out a Max Ooze. And then, if it's weakened enough, preferably, I can just obliterate the thing with a Max Mindstorm and be done with it. Outside of that, with this investment and the Assault Vest, I can take hits all day. When I'm maxed, I'm definitely causing a lot of damage. Even without my max, I'm still causing a fair amount of damage. Psychic and Dazzling Gleam or Stab, Mystical Fire and Giga Drain, I think are all the coverage I'm really going to need for what he does have. I do know I need to be wary with Mystical Fire / Max Flare around Centiskorch. But I think I can work around that well enough, especially since Centiskorch really does not want to be taking Max Mindstorms from Hesukiya. Moving on! A mon I am very excited to try out because I have never really used it in draft format before. We're going to finally change that. It's not the Galarian form, it's the Unovan form of Darmanitan, who I've decided to nickname Gage after one of the members of my front office because I respect Gage a lot for a lot of the heat sets he often suggests for me and a lot of the help he has given me ever since I established my front office. So I felt I definitely owed him something, and it's not much, but I think nicknaming one of the most destructive members of my roster at this point for this IBL season after him is at least a start. I'm going fairly standard-ish here with Darmanitan. Scarf, Sheer Force, Max. You know the drill if you know what Darmanitan does when it's got a Choice Scarf in its hands. I've got Flare Blitz, U-Turn, Earthquake, and Rock Slide. Rock Slide is primarily for Centiskorch more than anything else. And I guess to a lesser degree, Rotom Wash as well. Plain and simple, Darm is meant to come in, use his Scarf to outspeed everything, and just punch giant holes in this team. That can actually be said of 3 Mons I've got here as we kind of start working our way down. So, Darm, Hydreigon, and Passimian are kind of like my offensive triple threat I've got going on here. Not my original triple threat, which I'm still hoping Crown Tundra will allow me to bring that back into Absolution, but that's still a ways off. Darmanitan is one part of this. I also have another Scarfed Monkey ready to cause some havoc in my Passimian, Baker. If you're curious on the nickname, I had to show the Cleveland Browns a little bit of love at least once, so I nicknamed it after Baker Mayfield, since Passimian is kind of the football-themed Pokemon. At least let me give that little homage to my Cleveland Browns. Even though I am actually kind of more of a New Orleans Saints fan, I live in a Browns household. I've been on and off the Browns bandwagon for years. In regards to Baker the Passimian, however, as I said, it's also Scarf. I've got Defiant, just in case he tries to throw any stat lowering, which is going to just make Baker even more destructive. Fairly standard with this thing as well. Close Combat, Knockoff, Rock Slide, and U-Turn. Rock Slide again being for Centiskorch, and to a somewhat lesser degree, Rotom Wash. Unlike Darmanitan who's going Max, Passimian, I'm running Adamant Max Attack with 164 speed, which with the Scarf, I believe is just barely enough to outpace Jolly Max Speed Lycanroc Midday without a Scarf, which should put me in a good enough position to be able to deal with other things accordingly. Really, the idea here is to just use Darm and Passimian as fast breakers, just to try to set the stage for some of my other Mons. Joining them in my little breaking spree is my Hydreigon, Krona. So, in regards to this nickname real quick, I've normally nicknamed a lot of my Hydreigons Triple Threat. I'm trying to change that because I think I found a more fitting nickname in Krona. For those who do not know, Krona is a character from Soul Eater, which, barring the ending, which I have several issues on, but I'm not going to get into that because this is not the time or place for it. Soul Eater is one of my favorite animes and mangas, primarily because it was actually one of the first ones, not counting Dragon Ball and so on, that I ever actually got into. And I think Hydreigon kind of fits Krona very well. Also matches up because a championship team I had not that long ago in Mount Silver had a Togekiss nicknamed Maka on it. So, Maka and Krona. I don't have them both on this roster, but I led Maka to a championship. Let's see if I can get Krona one. Krona is running a choice item as well, but of a different nature. We're going Specs on Hydreigon, with Draco Meteor, Dark Pulse, Flamethrower, and Flash Cannon pretty much being all the coverage I think I'm going to need for this game. Flamethrower is going to be powerful enough with the Specs to be able to hit the things I need it to and basically destroy them. Specs Hydreigon definitely causes a lot of problems for Brendan's team. I'm going max here because, interesting fact, Timid Max Speed Hydreigon at level 50 outspeeds Adamant Max Speed Lycanroc Midday by 1 point. And so, if Brendan has some foresight, he probably will go Jolly to avoid this. But if he does what I think most people tend to do with Lycanroc and just goes Adamant and tries to rely on Accelerock to make up the difference, Hydreigon is going to have a field day with that thing. But the main idea here is for Darm, Hydra, and Passimian to basically abuse their choice items to tear Brendan's team apart. Because while he does have a lot of bulk, he does not have enough bulk to be able to consistently take the big hits these 3 mons are able to throw at him. Which will hopefully put him in a bad spot early that I can just proceed to build on from there. Another mon I'm hoping is going to kind of work with this idea is my Tentacruel, the Ruin. This is a staple from my BBR roster, and I am so happy to have it on my IBL roster because Tentacruel has definitely proven its worth over in BBR. For IBL, however, I am not going with any Toxic Spike shenanigans this time around, because honestly I think Brendan's team has more than enough ways to just dodge spikes in general. But I do have Black Sludge and Clear Body, primarily physical bulk with a little bit of special bulk. Rapid Spin, Dazzling Gleam, Acid Spray, and Scald is the set I'm running. Rapid Spin is obviously for removing hazards, giving myself a speed boost. Dazzling Gleam obliterates the likes of Kommo-o and, to a somewhat lesser degree, Obstagoon. Scald allows me to not be as passive and be able to spread some burns, as well as make sure I can actually hit Skarmory for some decent damage and threaten the thing a bit, especially if I can burn that thing. Acid Spray is something I definitely owe to Gage for reminding me of, because I have actually completely forgotten about this on Tentacruel. So if it surfaces in BBR, you'll have Gage to thank for that, for reminding me. Acid Spray does not do a whole lot of damage for a poison move, but it is a guarantee to lower special defense by 2 stages, which suddenly makes Tentacruel infinitely more dangerous. It's my hope that I can abuse Acid Spray to force Brendan to constantly switch, so I can just chip away at everything, build on that with Darm, Hydra, and Passimian, get Hat set up, and be good to go from there. My final mon is going to be Sandaconda, which I've nicknamed Bandolier. This is from my PBAL roster. Bandolier is the name of a Gunsnake enemy, or the class of Gunsnake enemies from Final Fantasy X-2, for anyone who's curious on that. Outside of the Ruin kind of serving as a tank in a sense, Bandolier is kind of like my one lone pure defensive option here. I've got leftovers, I've got Shed Skin in case I get status. I can set rocks to kind of maybe force him to try to either defog if he doesn't bring Claydol, which Passimian will have a field day with Defiant, or just try to chip away at him in general. Earthquake and Body Press I think does everything I'm going to primarily need them for. I contemplate a Rock Slide, but I think Body Press works a lot better to keep Sandaconda from being too passive in several scenarios, especially since Sandaconda can actually take a hit from a Guts-boosted Obstagoon and then just wipe it out with 1 Body Press, which is certainly going to be appreciated. And then, of course, there's Glare, which I'm sure you guys know what Glare does. It paralyzes things, and if I can slow a lot of Brendan's faster threats down, that just makes my offensive trio a hell of a lot more dangerous, and is definitely, I think, going to put Brendan in a hole I don't think he'll be able to recover from. So that is going to be the team as we switch back over to my locker room now. I hope you guys have enjoyed this team builder and are ready to get back to some IBL action. I know my team is ready to go. I am really excited to get to use this roster. And I will be right back when it's battle time. Alright, it is battle time, and if the upload date is kind of any indication, week 1, and we have a Monday Night Throwdown right out of the gate. So, yeah, we get the brightest lights and the wildest crowds, I guess, right away. So this is going to make things a little more interesting. let's go ahead and get into this and see exactly what to expect for this new IBL season. Alright, we are looking to connect right now. Brendan has G-Max Gengar, that is no surprise to me. Obstagoon, Skarmory, Komao, Centiskorch, and Alchemy. To be honest, for the most part, I'm kind of not surprised. Kind of expected pretty much most of this to be how he wanted to play this. The question is, how does he think he's going to be able to lead against me? Part of me kind of wants to lead Bandolier. And maybe try to get rocks up early. I could see him very easily leading with Centiskorch and trying to throw a grass move my way, or Obstagoon and trying to hit me with something. I think I'm going to lead Baker, actually. Just U-turn out on whatever he wants to lead with, get one of my Scarfers on the field early, and go from there. See how he wants to play that. Alright, so good luck, have fun, Brendan. Oh, I completely forgot I still had this background, because the last time I did a Wi-Fi battle was the Mess with Howler from BBR Week 4. Thanks, computer issues. It works. So he's going to lead with Centiskorch. I got no problem with that. Because I could kill this thing with a Rock Slide right out of the gate if I really wanted to. And not gonna lie, I kind of want to. I wouldn't be surprised if he was sashed, actually. Kind of a little intrigued that he led Centiskorch. Was he thinking I was gonna lead? I'm just gonna go ahead and click the Rock Slide button. We're gonna get aggressive right out of the gate here. And I think he immediately sees the writing on the wall there because he's going into Skarm. So Skarm is going to take this Rock Slide. Alright. And it is leftovers. So that is fine. I am Scarf, so there's not really much I'm doing here. I think I'll go into the Ruin and start trying to play some of the Ruin shenanigans I had planned for this game. Because I can definitely throw skulls at this thing. He goes straight for the Brave Bird. Interesting. And that did a fair amount, too. Interesting. So I am definitely going to throw a Scald at this thing right now and go from there. He does not have Lapras, so I don't have to worry about Water Absorb. No Rotom Wash either is actually kind of good because I don't have to worry about dealing with potential Volt Switch shenanigans and playing that mind game like I did with D-Ray back in Week 2 of BBR. So I'm just going to be able to fire off this Scald. Get some solid damage off on this thing. No burn as he goes ahead and sets rocks. Which is completely fine because the Ruin does have rapid spinning. And I know this thing is not... Rocky Helmet. I'm going to click Scald again anyway because part of me feels like he may actually go into Gengar to try to block me from spinning. Which I think is what he's actually going to do. Nope, he goes into Alchemy. So that is an interesting call there. I'm going to be able to Scald this thing. Get some more health back. He has leftovers on this thing as well. And Tentacool does outspeed, which is good to know. I'm gonna reveal Acid Spray now. We're gonna start this. We're gonna start playing this game. See what exactly he has in mind. It's not going to do a whole lot, but it is going to lower his special defense by 2. As he goes straight shot, Psy Shock. Okay. He went straight Psy Shock on that one. He is not messing around. That is fine, though. The Ruin actually took that quite well, all things considered. I'm going to go ahead and Skull, because part of me feels like he may actually switch out, seeing the special defense drop. And if he goes into Scarm to try to block that, nope, he's just going to stay in. I'm going to be able to get much more damage off of the Skull. I do get a burn, so there's that, as he's going to Psy Shock me again now. Which the Ruin is going to be able to take. So at this point, I'm kind of debating how I want to play this one, because he is -2 defense. I could very easily switch into Hat. I am at 49 right now. I'm definitely not taking another Psy Shock. I kind of don't want to risk going into Krona just in case he tries to pull the fairy move on me. You know what? I'm just going to stay in a Rapid Spin. Why not? See if maybe I catch him trying to go for the fairy move, expecting me to switch out. That's going to be a free speed boost for the Ruin, because why not? That gets rid of the rocks, as he's going to go recover. Which is fair enough. So I wonder if he's just recover 3 attacks then. So I am going to be able to get some health back with the Ruin. And I'm going to go into Hesukiya now. Which is definitely going to scare this Alchemy out. Because at -2 Spadef, Psy Shock is not threatening me at all. Which he is going to go for Psy Shock it. Which is fine. Hat eats that up easily. So now my question becomes, how do I want to play this? Because he's at -2. I definitely threaten this thing. Would he go into Would he go straight Gengar? I'm not gonna max yet. I'm actually just gonna straight up Dazzling Gleam, because I have a feeling he is gonna switch this thing. Is it Obstagoon, Como? Nope, he goes Skarmory. Fair enough. So that's gonna chip Skarm down a little more. I will certainly take that. If he Brave Birds right now, I can take it. If he has Iron Head, I can kind of take that too. I'm gonna stay in and click Mystical Fire and try to kill this thing. And see, he can't set up. He's gonna Roost. Alrighty then. He is not going to be able to get back to full, so this Mystical Fire is definitely going to take a huge chunk out of this Metal Bird. We're almost right back to square one. Alright, the special attack drop. We are almost right back to square one, actually. I'm going to Psychic now because I want to say he tries to maybe... If he doesn't Roost again, he probably switches into Centiskorch to try to bait the Mystical Fire to get a Flash Fire boost. And that allows me to take a huge chunk out of Centiskorch and go from there. Nope, he's just going to end up Roosting. Fair enough. Psychic should still be taking a chunk out of this Robot Chicken. And indeed it is. He's just going to get Leftovers back. I'm wondering what his last move is now. I'm going to switch into Bandolier. Yes, we're gonna try to break a stalemate with more of a stalemate, I guess. No, he goes Senti now. Interesting. So, I can take a Power Whip. And I've got no problem taking a chunk out of this thing with an Earthquake. I think I'm just going to get my rocks up instead and go from there. He ends up switching right back into Skarmory. So, okay, I made a smart call not earthquaking there. It just allows me to get my rocks up. I have a feeling his last move is probably Defog at this point, considering Skarm is the only hazard remover he did bring. He could defog now. Trying to debate what my best potential option is at this exact moment in time. I think it's gonna go. I think I'm going into Krona. I think my Black Blood Swordsman / Dragon Demon is going to hit the field at this point and go from there. It is Defog, okay. So, that means this thing's only offensive move is Brave Bird, which is very good to know. This thing is in range of a Dark Pulse. So I'm just going to go ahead and unleash a Specs Dark Pulse on something right now. Obstagoon resists, Como resists, nothing else really wants to take it. Oh. Right, Alchemy. I forgot this thing still exists. I still took a chunk out of it with that Dark Pulse, though. So not bad. I would not be surprised to see a Dazzling Gleam coming, so... Do I go... I kind of want to go Gauge right now, actually. Yeah, I'm going to go Gauge. We're going to see how this plays out, because a Flare Blitz definitely kills him. And we're just going to go from there. He's just going to straight up recover. So if he were to switch into Centiskorch at this exact moment, and I would not be surprised if he does. I'm just going to go ahead and U-turn. We're going to play this safe. No need to get absolutely reckless just yet. Because Darm's still here. Darm still has a chance to do damage. We can still make this work. He's going to switch into Centiskorch. Yep. Had a feeling. So I'm just going to be able to U-turn out. Get some decent chip off on this thing finally. And I think we're just going to go back into Baker at this point. I'm actually going to go for a knockoff to try to see if we can break this little stalemate Brendan and I have ended up in. Because, yeah, he definitely knows I have Rock Slide. I've already revealed that. He's going to go back into Skarm, which I am perfectly fine with, because this allows me to get rid of this thing's leftovers. So Skarm is without that at this point. And I think I'm going to go back into Bandolier and start playing this song and dance again. Now it's going to go Baker Mayfield back to the bench. I'm going to send up my Gunsnake. And he's going to set up Rocks now, which is completely fine. I'm just going to go ahead and get my own up to try to force his hand a bit. See how he wants to play this. So, I mean, I kind of put him... My offensive trio's kind of been doing what they've been meant to for the most part, even though I haven't had them in very much. It's definitely created a scenario where we've got some constant switches going on here. He's going to go into Alchemy as I go ahead and get my Rocks up, so we are both sitting with Rocks here now. That is perfectly fine with me. I would not be surprised if he attempts to try to Coal Mine up at this point. I'm just going to Earthquake and see how he wants to play this. And we will go from there. Because he hasn't shown me... Ooh, that Earthquake took a big chunk out of this thing. A lot bigger than I think I was expecting. Bandelier's going to take that Dazzling Gleam kind of well, actually. I'm able to get leftovers back. His leftovers are kind of nullified, so... I had a feeling he had Fairy Stab because Hydreigon was definitely a thing. I'm going to Earthquake again. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes into Skarm. And if he does, I can go from there. Yep, here comes the Skarmory. Which is going to take Rocks damage, which is perfectly fine. It's going to dodge this Earthquake. I am going to get leftovers back, though, so Bandolier is not in a bad spot right about now. He's probably going to defog. I'm going to Body Press and see how this plays out. Get some more damage off on this thing. Take this thing into the red. He's going to go ahead and Roost. Alright. So this is the game we're playing now. I mean, Bandelier's just going to get more leftovers recovery back, so I'm perfectly fine with that at this point. We're just going to click Body Press again. Go back to wearing this thing down. I'm wondering at this point... He's just going to Brave Bird, which is fine with me. Bandolier can take that. That's recoil to himself. I wouldn't be surprised if he roosts here, actually. Trying to see real quick. 60 right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and Body Press again. I was debating switching into the Ruin, but he outsped me this time. Are we actually at a speed tie? Huh. Well, that became a super effective Body Press then because of that. I'll certainly take that. Bandelier's going to get more HP back. Okay, so I think Bandolier and his Robot Chicken here are speed tied. So that makes this song and dance a little more interesting now. He's going to go ahead and Brave Bird, which Bandolier is going to take. More chip damage on Robot Chicken here. I'm just going to keep Body Pressing at this point, honestly. He goes first again. This is actually kind of interesting to me that we're at the speed tie. Because I have no speed investment on this Sandaconda. So that's telling me he's got at least minimal speed investment on the Skarmory for some reason. The more I think about it, maybe it had something to do with X-Cloud, possibly. I'm just going to go ahead and glare this thing at this point. See how this plays out. He's just going to Brave Bird. So we're going to slow down the Robot Chicken. That's a crit. I mean, plus that it takes a lot more out of this thing, so I'll gladly take that. And now we're going to slow it down. I'm kind of trying to see if I can make him defog to get rid of these hazards. I don't think I'm going to get it to happen at this point. Let's go ahead and body press. Now that I know for sure I'm outspeeding this thing. Gonna put this thing into the red. Alright. I'm sorry, Brendan. You hate to see it, and I know I kind of hate pulling this stunt, but something needs to give with the stalemate. And at this point, I think it's got to be your Skarmory that's going to give. So, Sandaconda is going to get my first kill of this IBL season, which is rather interesting. So, on the plus side, my rocks are here to stay now. If I can somehow find a way to get Tentacruel back in and spin those away, that would be great. Oh boy. I think Brendan's done playing. Because he just went straight into Gengar. I'm going to try to glare this thing, see what he wants to pull here. He just stays in and goes for a Shadow Ball, which, fair play to him. So I'm going to lose Bandolier, which is fine. He is Life Orb. That is good to know. So there are a couple of ways I could actually play this right now. And I think the one I kind of like the most is actually going into Baker. Because with a knockoff, I threaten this thing out, and I take the item off of pretty much anything else at this point, which is nice. If he goes ahead and maxes now, I will do a significant chunk to Gengar to the point where Hat is definitely... Well, either Darm or Hat could come in at this point and kind of break this thing. Into Alchemy, which I don't mind because that gets rid of this thing's leftovers. So I will certainly take... That did quite a bit, actually. Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and get Baker out of here now. Where am I at time-wise? Ooh, that timer is actually kind of ticking down against me. I'm going to go into the Ruin. Because I know I outspeed... So here's my logic. I know I outspeed this thing. If he recovers, which I think he's going to do here... Yep, he goes for the recovery. Which is best case scenario... Because that's going to allow Tentacruel to be able to spin these rocks away. I'm going to lose Tentacruel to a Psy Shock. That is a fact at this point. But if I get these rocks out of here, then that is going to make things significantly easier for the rest of my team because Skarmory's gone, so he can't set them back up. So we're going to chip away at Alchemy a little more, bring it under half. Get rid of these rocks as he recovers again. Interesting. I still haven't seen this thing's last move, which has me really curious now. So Tentacruel is about back to where it was beforehand. I'm going to go ahead and Acid Spray to get the -2 defense drop. Can't talk anymore. It's been a little while since I've done a Wi-Fi battle. Can you guys tell? So that's a -2 defense drop on this Alchemy. As now he's going to Psy Shock. So I am going to lose the Ruin, but I'm actually not in a bad spot here, in all honesty. I'm going to send out Hesukiya. Because at this point, I definitely threaten this this cake is going down to a Psychic if he stays in. I'm going to Dazzling Gleam, though. I'm going to Dazzling Gleam just because... Nope, he goes Mystical Fire, so he is just recover 3 attacks. So that, unfortunately, actually kind of works for him. Because he gets the drop. Which kind of sucks. I'm going to Psychic now because I think he's going to recover with this thing. Yep. I have been kind of walking on eggshells with throwing out Psychics. Just because I'm fearful of him bringing Obstagoon straight in. That's going to take a good chunk out of this thing. So from here, I am definitely going into Gauge now. And testing the waters with Darm. To see what he wants to do. Which is Mystical Fire, which Gauge is going to be able to eat up easily. Special attack drop, which means absolutely nothing to this thing. With Skarm gone, I'm actually kind of a bit free here. I'm going to Earthquake, because it should kill Alchemy from this range. He's going to let Alchemy go. Fair enough then. So that is the cake off the table, which I am certainly all for at this point. And makes me curious as to what he's going to bring in now. I kind of want to say Komao. Yep, that is exactly what he's going to bring in. I am legitimately curious now as to what he's planning here. I'm going to Earthquake since I'm locked into it. Just to kind of test the waters here and see exactly what this Komao wants to do. That's a decent chunk of damage. Clangorous... Wait a sec. You guys are going to have to forgive me a bit here because... Okay, that kind of caught me off guard. I was not expecting him to actually pull that on me. That is interesting. Granted, this is a Scarfed Arm, so I can still Earthquake and take care of this thing. As he's going to see now. Thank you, Scarfed Arm! And none of that Clangorous Soul nonsense today, Brendan. I'm sorry. Gauge is not having any of that. I'm sure he'll get a kick out of all of this when I tell him about it later on. So, the Goon is out here now. You are not burned yet if you have your Flame Orb. I'm just going to keep Earthquaking at this point, because I don't see a reason not to. I don't think... Yeah, I'm going to be able to take a chunk out of this Obstagoon. He's going to knock off my Scarf. Aw. no Flame Orb. That is interesting. Well, since I'm free from my Scarf, I'm just going to click U-turn, because I think Darm has kind of served its main purpose here. And I'm going to be able to kill Obstagoon. So, he wasn't Scarfed. So, that's just a speed tie. Darm happened to win, which... Okay, that's a thing that basically just happened. I want to see something here, because this may determine how I play this next move. I'm just going to go into Hesuki at this point, because I think now is the time for me to just max and start breaking things. If he goes into Gengar, we can go from there. I'm not sure where Centiskorch's health is at, which is why I was hesitant to, yeah, I would have had to lock myself into Draco to kill Centiskorch, and I would rather lock myself into Dark Pulse, honestly. So, I am going to max. I'm going to Mind Storm to take a huge chunk out of this bug. And we are going to go from here. So, yeah, this is, kind of an interesting turn of events. Darm doing what Darm does best, just basically just flipping the middle finger at all logic and just doing whatever it wants. Considering it decided it wanted to win that speed tie against Obstagoon. Unless that Obstagoon was not max speed. He's gonna knock off my AV. Okay, that kind of sucks a bit. On the plus side, I am going to have Psychic Terrain to play with. So, that's a thing. I'm going to Mind Storm again. I did not realize how low my timer was. Wow. I really need to play more time. He's going to Flare Blitz. Hat's still going to get this kill. And all that remains is Gengar. Which, the downside is, this thing can take me out, not maxed, because I don't have my Assault Vest anymore, without him needing to waste the max. The max certainly does kill me, but I am in a range at this point where he doesn't need the max to be able to take me out. That said, with Life Orb Recoil, whatever I send in at the... In is going to come Gengar. I'm just going to go ahead and click Mind Storm again. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose Hat here. But it's fine. Because it gives me an idea of how exactly he wants to play it from this point. He's just going to straight up take me out, not even max. So, that then gives me a number of options on how I want to play this. So I know he's Life Orb. Actually, ooh, we may actually have a problem here. I'm starting to realize we may have a problem. I know I'm burning a significant amount of time, but I need to see something here. I'm going to go into Krona. And then I'm going to switch into Gauge. I know it's kind of odd bait, sort of, but I want to get a little more Life Orb chip on this Gengar, because from there I believe a Scarf knockoff from Passimian will be able to finish the job. So he's going to go ahead and max, which is perfectly fine. All I need is, I believe, a little bit more Life Orb chip on this Gengar. He goes Max Knuckle. interesting. So I am going to lose Gauge, which does suck. But I think we've got this with... Kind of feels a little ironic in a sense. Baker being the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns and coming in to potentially save the day here for my Columbus Swoo. I'm Scarf. I'm going to lock myself into knockoff. I should definitely outspeed this Gengar. Because I speed crept for Lycanroc, and this Gengar, well, even if it was... This knockoff will get rid of the Life Orb, and should do enough to kill Gengar. That is going to be ball game. Farewell, you giant ghost abomination. So, that is going to be the end of that. My Columbus Swoo get a little bit of payback against Brendan for the devastating loss he handed us last season. That was a great game, Brendan. Credit where credit's due, that Gengar actually... That was quite the stalemate for a while, and that Gengar certainly actually had me thinking things are going to start going south in the endgame there. But all I needed was that little bit more Life Orb chip to be absolutely sure. I mean, I probably could have avoided it and just gone straight into Baker, but I wanted to be absolutely sure. Because with Darm having lost its Scarf, if Baker had gone down and that thing would have lost its Life Orb, I actually believe I would have been in serious trouble. Let me double check one thing real quick. Come off a Focus Blast. Yeah, I would have needed... It would have been a 50-50 shot on Hydreigon from Max Knuckle if he didn't have Dazzling Gleam. So, that is going to do it for us. My Columbus Swoo are off to a 1-0 plus 2 start for the IBL season. And I will certainly take that. GG again, Brendan. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I've been Ruppy. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Monday Night Spectacular to start the season. And I hope you'll stick with me the rest of the way as our IBL journey continues. Thank you guys so very much for watching. And I will see you guys next time. Take care.